What's up, guys? I'm here at Brick's Corner on 7th East in Salt Lake City. I'm very excited to be here March 24th, 7 p.m. Utah's taking down the Detroit Red Wings. We'll be here taking down some Detroit-style pizza. Now, what is Detroit-style pizza? I'm glad you asked. This, my friends, is Detroit-style pizza. I've got right here the Brick House Pizza. It's the marquee menu item here at Brick's Corner. Look at that, kind of shaped like an ice rink, huh? Not bad, in square form, super thick, tons of toppings, sauce on top, classic Detroit style. But if pizza's not your thing, they got everything here. They got wings, salads, desserts, burgers, drinks. They got a bar area, but it's kid friendly here. That area is 21 over. Everywhere else, bring your family, bring your friends, come on down. Lots of TVs. We're gonna have a great time March 24th.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to SLC Puck! I'm your host, Adam Faceplant. Just kidding. It's Austin Facer. Hey, welcome to SLC Puck. You know Adam Faceplant. That's my NashCast persona. And I'm still kind of in it. We had two really great NashCasts this last week with Tyson Nash on SCG Media, Utah Hockey Club Plus. You can watch those, by the way. They're on replay, available for just $1 on Utah Hockey Club Plus or SCG Plus, just like I said. We encourage you to go check them out. They were a lot of fun to do. I'll talk more in detail on some things that I learned on NashCast, some things I think maybe not everybody saw, because it is behind a little bit of a paywall, but it's just $1 to get all the replays and to watch Utah Hockey Club action for the rest of the season. So please, get in there, scrape together $1. Do whatever you have to do. Dig for your coins in between the cushions of your couch. Go to the ashtray of your vehicle. Get yourself 4 quarters, 10 dimes, 100 pennies, 20 nickels, whatever you got to do to get $1. You'll get Utah Hockey Club action for the rest of the year. And we've got your coverage right here as well at SLC Puck. We do the podcast twice a week, newsletter twice a week, and of course, Monday, which is tomorrow. I'm talking to you guys on March 23rd, Sunday. Tomorrow's the first ever SLC Puck watch party at Brick's Corner in Salt Lake City on 7th East. Got all the information for that on my social media. We're going to be checking out the Detroit Red Wings Utah Hockey Club game while partaking in some Detroit-style pizza at Brick's Corner. Pretty clever, huh? I came up with that. So we're really excited about that. Hope to see a bunch of puckers there having some fun, having a good time. We'll have some giveaways, some goofs, some gaffs, t-shirts, SLC Puck koozies. This is an exclusive item you can only get at SLC Puck watch parties. So we look forward to seeing you guys there. And if you want to support the show even more, if you're obsessed with SLC Puck, and I know a lot of you guys are, a lot of you guys want to wear my skin around and, you know, just pretend to be me, which I wouldn't encourage. You won't love it. It's not that fun. But what you can do, and we'll get to these pictures here in just a second, but you can go to slcpuck.shop. We got lots of great t-shirts, hats, Crown Burger inspired stuff. We love our good friends over there at Crown Burger. Mammoth t-shirt right here. Stuff for the kiddos. More hats. The signature SLC Puck upside down hat is available at slcpuck.shop as well. So go ahead and check that out. It's great to support the show. We're marching to 1,000 subs as well, so we're getting there pretty soon. Maybe I'll do something to up the ante to get us there a little bit quicker. I'll have more ideas for that. Sorry, just one more housekeeping item, and then we'll jump into the meat of the show. The 100th episode of SLC Puck is rapidly approaching. This is episode 93. And by my math, and if you've been watching the show for a little bit, you know math is not something I particularly enjoy doing. However, I did do some math. I got out the calculator, what's the thing? The abacus, thank you. The thing that does that, and the calendar. I did the calculations. I figured out that the 100th episode of SLC Puck is going to take place on April 16th. That'll be 1 year and 1 day from the show's inception. So I am very fired up about that. And just to have a little bit of fun with it, I want to make you guys involved with that as SLC Puckers. And what you can do is just DM me a video on my social media, and I'm on social on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever, all that, at SLC Puck. I'm easy to find. Or you can actually text it to me on the SLC Puck hotline, I believe. Send me a video of you expressing how much you've enjoyed having the Utah Hockey Club here in Utah for the first season. Tell me like your favorite memory, what it's meant to your family, anything funny that you remember. Like it can be about SLC Puck, it can be about something the players did, whatever. I don't care. Send me a video. I'll stitch it together, put it in episode 100 of SLC Puck. It'll be a really nice, really special thing, a celebration of us. Those of us who have had an unbelievable year this year cheering on the Utah Hockey Club. And let's just jump into the to where we're at with the Utah Hockey Club, right? So we talked last on Wednesday, and I was a bit melancholy, if you remember, but yet somewhat optimistic still. Our good friend Sean Dursey, and by the way, let's just give a shout out to Sean Dursey for rocking DCYHA swag into the arena yesterday. And you can see here is the next gen game at the Utah Hockey Club. So it was a celebration of youth hockey, and the Utah Hockey Club players wore some youth jerseys into the building. So Sean Dursey right here threw on the DCYHA Wind jersey, a jersey which I have right here. This is me and Tyson Nash and Coach Dar and her son there. I'll talk more about Coach Dar here in just a second. But yeah, it was a big day for Davis County, for the youth hockey scene in Utah. And again, I'll talk more about this in just a second. But again, Karel Vamelka wore a Viewmont High School jersey in. And guess who else happens to have a Viewmont High School jersey? That's me. Yeah, if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, you're missing some truly remarkable photos of me as a disgusting 17-year-old. So go ahead and check those out. I'm sure you'll get a good kick out of that. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to remind you that our incredible giveaway with Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry is still going on. I can't even tell you how many people I've heard from who have gotten their gift cards, and they're super excited to head into either one of those locations. Jonathan's Jewelry up in Cottonwood Heights, Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers at Trolley Square. They're like, yo, I can't wait. I can't wait to use my $250 gift card. We've given away like 16, 15, 18, 17. We've given away a ton of gift cards. We've been doing this promotion since February. For every episode of SLC Puck, we've been giving away one gift card to Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers or Jonathan's Jewelry. And here's the great news. This promotion is continuing through the summer, people. All you have to do is scan this QR code right here, hit send on the message. I already typed it up for you, and you're in. Simplest raffle, simplest giveaway you'll ever enter. It's just that easy. And here's what's best. Anyone can be a winner. All you have to do is go into either one of those locations, Jonathan's Jewelry or Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers, and just mention SLC Puck. They'll knock $100 off your purchase right then and there. No questions asked. You're going to love working with the guys over there to get something special for your special someone. So big thanks to Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry for their support of SLC Puck. And yeah, enter the giveaway. Get in it and get yourself something nice, or get something nice for someone you care about. And let's get back to the show. But anyway, we're back. So we're back talking about the Utah Hockey Club. As we said on Wednesday, it was a bit of I don't know. I think we felt like maybe the sky was falling a little bit, I guess. But again, we were trying to cling to any kind of optimism. You know, like the sun still rose. That was the title of the last episode. And I got to tell you, I for the title of this episode, these things kind of write themselves. It's really amazing. We had Coach Dar on, who's a mental performance coach. She worked with Tyson in Arizona. She's worked with a lot of players around the National Hockey League. I wouldn't surprise me if to learn that she works with quite a few guys on the Utah Hockey Club as well. She's also the author of a tremendous book, The Art of Bouncing Back. And it's a great book. It's Find Your Flow to Thrive at Work, at Home, anytime you're off your game. I would say this. I'm going to title this episode of SLC Puck, The Art of Bouncing Back, because that's exactly what the Utah Hockey Club did in their last 2 games. They bounced back from that 7-1 loss to Edmonton to win on Thursday over the Buffalo Sabres, a 5-2 victory, which included, stop me if you've heard of this before, a game-winning goal by Dylan Guenther. This guy's a game-winning goal machine. I believe he has 9 on the season, which is like up there in the runnings for most in the NHL. It might be second in the National Hockey League. I believe he's behind Leon Draisaitl, who's probably going to win the Hart Trophy as the NHL's most valuable player this year. So Gunner's in good company there, up at the top of the leaderboard. And it was a kind of a funny game because we also saw Utah get a bit of good fortune, we'll say, up 3-2 near the end of the game. Buffalo, working the puck around. There's the linesman's arm was up on a delayed penalty. So Buffalo pulled their goalie to have the extra attacker, right? But whoopsie, you silly guys from Buffalo, would you have a little too much blue cheese, before the game? What happened there? They accidentally passed the puck into their own net to give Utah a 4-2 cushion. Utah scores again to make it 5-2 to get the win there. So a good bounce goes Utah's way, right? Bouncing back. A good bounce for Utah. That was something they definitely needed. Got them back in winning ways, and they carried that confidence over into Saturday's game, a 6-4 victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning. That was a huge win for the Utah Hockey Club. Over the last, I guess you could say, maybe nearly a decade, the Tampa Bay Lightning have been like the class of the NHL. They won quite a few Stanley Cups. They're also like somewhat tied to the Utah Hockey Club's story right now because as you may know from following the team for almost a year now, Tampa Bay was where we got our guy Mikhail Sergachev from on a trade in June. He came over in exchange for Connor Geekie and JJ Moser and a couple of draft picks. So really, really excellent trade by the Utah Hockey Club to get the horse, Mikhail Sergachev, who has been one of the team's most important players and at times I truly believe, and I think many people would say has been the most important player on the Utah Hockey Club. So, and the players know that Tampa Bay has like a lot of respect around the National Hockey League. That was something they talked about a lot post-game and in the media coverage I saw afterwards. Ryan Miller from KSL.com, my good buddy, wrote an excellent story on how much the National Hockey League as a whole, and specifically the Utah Hockey Club, admires what the Tampa Bay Lightning have done, and getting a guy like Mikhail Sergachev, who has been there as part of the building process in Tampa Bay, in the locker room, in Salt Lake City at Delta Center, which, by the way, is such a nice locker room. You know what? We did like this youth party a few months ago, which included a tour of the locker room. And this is where I'm going to sound like pretentious. I've been in the locker room too, post game, after games, to interview players and do stories. So cool. And that's where Clayton Keller told me I had cool shoes. So again, apologies. I know that sounds very pretentious. Hey, what can I say? It's the truth of what happened. But anyway, in the locker room, they have kombucha on draft, which I thought was kind of interesting. And I don't know if you've ever had kombucha, but it's disgusting. Again, it's one of those things that like people like pretend to like. And I can't like conceive of any reason why anybody would like kombucha, because to me it just tastes like straight vinegar with like maybe like some food coloring in it, or like a pinch of salt and like maybe some basil leaves. I don't know what kombucha is. It's disgusting, but it's on draft in the Utah Hockey Club's locker room. Apparently they say it's good for like inflammation, but to me that's not a good enough reason to drink what amounts to like, I don't know, weird bath water and like a swamp, really, is what I think kombucha would probably taste like to me. I don't know. I don't like it. Anyway, point being, what was I talking about? I was talking about the Utah Hockey Club bouncing back, winning these 2 games, right, over the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Buffalo Sabres. So we're still in the mix. We're still playing meaningful games. And it felt like when we talked last on Wednesday after the 7-1 loss to Edmonton, we said the sun still rose, but I think we were also expecting the sun to set a little bit on the Utah Hockey Club's playoff chances, right? And this is something we've checked every freaking episode for the last, 2 months now.
What's up, guys? Sunday, March 30th, Utah's taking on Chicago, 2 p.m. We're going to be watching it right here at a bar named Sue on Highland Drive. It's an awesome space. I wanted to show it off to you guys, so come on in. A lot of great art on the wall. Real Salt Lake jersey. Got to get a Utah Hockey Club jersey up there soon. I mean, look how big this place is, though. We could really pack the bar named Sue. They got TVs all over the place in here. Got a huge stage area. We'll do some giveaways, have some fun there. Oh, look, there's another TV. Got a ton of drinks on tap, lots of great brewskis, tons of whiskey there too, man. A great staff too. Happy to serve you. There's the guy Steven right here.
Hi guys.
I'll be up here on the microphone in between intermissions. We'll have some great giveaways for you guys. T-shirts, koozies, lots of other stuff from our partners. So super excited to have fun the whole game long. And let's say you need more stuff to do to intermission. There's pool tables here, ping pong, darts over here. You can really like have a good time here like any day of the week. I love this place. This is the place. Like I said, March 30th, 2 p.m., bar named Sue, Highland Drive. Be here. We're going to have a great time.
And I mean, let's just check it now. Like, why break from the routine? I'm pulling up ESPN right now, Utah Hockey Club. Look, where can we find the Utah Hockey Club in the wild card race, right? So I got the standings pulled up here. Western Conference here, and again, reminder for those of you who aren't paying attention, and I think some people aren't paying attention, I'll be honest, because I still get asked by some people like, is it true the Utah Hockey Club, they're just going to skate as the Utah Hockey Club this season? People still ask me that, and it's been like 11 months. I'm like, oh, yes, they are. So they are. It's not for long, though, you know what I mean? But anyway, so playoff standings, right? How the playoffs work, two conferences, two divisions in each conference. Top three teams are in, and then two wildcard teams on top of that. Utah Hockey Club remains in the hunt, right? So 70 games played. They played 70 games already. That's amazing. Utah Hockey Club has a 32, 27, and 11 record with 75 points in the standings. That puts them one behind the Vancouver Canucks, who are just ahead of them in the standings. Above them, the Calgary Flames, 77. They're out as well. But the team in that last wildcard spot, the St. Louis Blues, with 79 points. So again, the chase remains. Utah Hockey Club not out of it yet, but as we've said, they need to play basically perfect hockey the rest of the way. With 12 games left to play, they essentially have to look at these as 12 game sevens. They're playing for their playoff lives. But it's really remarkable to watch these last couple of games. And I truly wonder if the players read this book between the Edmonton game and the game against Buffalo and the game against Tampa Bay, because they bounced back in such a tremendous way. And I think what's helping this, and again, I feel like I'm like Dr. Phil here, like Tony Robbins, or like a philosophy guy. It feels like they're having a lot of fun. It feels like they're playing loose. I think you can see that on the ice. I don't get a chance to watch the game super closely while I'm doing NashCast, because there's a lot happening there. You know, we're interviewing people on our shows, working with like our director or people in the studio with us. So the game is just kind of like on, right? And we're trying to follow it, but again, I'm not watching as closely as I would any other night. But going back and just reading the stories and watching replays of the game, it's obvious that there's a certain looseness and a certain fun that's happening. And I think you see that when you see guys walking in youth hockey jerseys. Like, you know, like looking at this picture here of Sean Dursey, he's got a little bit of a smirk there. You know, he looks cool. He's got his toque. Tyson Nash calls it a toque. Apparently that's what they call it in Canada. I call it a beanie, though. He's holding his coffee there from Starbucks or wherever the heck he gets his coffee, wearing the DCYHA jersey. Karel Vejmelka the same way. And he's played in like 13 or 14 straight games. The guy's a workhorse. But look, he's smiling. They're having fun. I think there is like some legitimate like mental work that's happening right now in the Utah Hockey Club. Clayton Keller's another guy who's a great example. I think he's fiery. He's fired up. He's playing with a lot of excitement. The thumbnail for this episode is going to have a big image of Clayton Keller. Yeah, just excited, out there ready to play. Like great enthusiasm and excitement, dedication to their craft. And if it sounds like I'm a guy who's read a couple of mental performance books in the last week, it's because I am. And I think it's what I'm seeing in the Utah Hockey Club. I think they've kind of like let go of like the need for an outcome, and I think they're just trusting their stuff, so to speak. You know, these guys are professional hockey players. There's an energy in Delta Center that is like very contagious right now. And I'm not just shilling for the Utah Hockey Club. It's true. I believe they've had points in like 13 of the last 15 or 14 games. And this is just a stat that I saw, and I'm trying to remember it off the top of the dome. But they've had a lot more success at Delta Center as of late compared to how they were doing at the beginning of the year. That was something we talked about, right? It was like, it felt surprising to some people that, oh, they're here from Arizona, where they played in a dumpy little which it wasn't a dumpy, but they played in a little 4,000 seat arena in Arizona. They should be like on top of the world here in Salt Lake. I think there was like a lot going on, right? I mean, it was a big transition. They were essentially playing every game like a road game because they were still getting into a routine of getting in the building, the drive from, you know, their various homes in the Salt Lake Valley and all that. But now they're here, they're in a routine. The team is like pretty healthy compared to where they've been at parts of the year. So it feels like things are clicking, and it's a ton of fun to watch, and it's really, really commendable what the Utah Hockey Club is doing right now. And the key phrase that we've been saying for weeks, and Bill Armstrong, who I love dearly, General Manager Bill Armstrong, has been saying this for almost a year now, is the goal was to play meaningful games. We're here, it's March 23rd. They're still doing it. They're still playing meaningful games. And as I said, I think the key for the club, the Utah Hockey Club, is to continue to play these meaningful games as long as they possibly can. And maybe just look at like these games on the schedule as sort of like milestones or benchmarks or landmarks or marks, right? Just targets, goals, right? To just get to this date and have it still be meaningful. Let's just take a glance at their schedule right now. So on Monday, the 24th, they're playing the Detroit Red Wings. Be at Bricks Corner, by the way, to watch that if you can't make it to the game at Delta Center. Thursday, they're at Tampa Bay. That's a tough one. That one's really challenging. If they can get through that game and have the next one be meaningful, that would be a tremendous achievement, because the one after that, the second game of a back-to-back of their Florida trip, is the reigning champion Florida Panthers. So they really, really tricky games ahead of them on the other side of the country. Then they're coming back to the middle of the country on Sunday, March 30th to play the Chicago Blackhawks. Tuesday, April 1st is a very, very big game as well. The Calgary Flames. If they can get to that date and have a big matchup at Delta Center, pack the barn, get the towels on the seats. Ryan Smith will be throwing out, tickets like free ice cream. If they can get to that date and have it still be meaningful, I think that would be a tremendous achievement for the Utah Hockey Club. And then just see how the results go. And again, these there are some very, very tough games here. After that, April 3rd against LA, that's very difficult. That's actually could be a very interesting game, because it'll probably be the last time Trevor Lewis will ever play in his home state, because I think you could probably expect him to retire at the end of the season with the Kings. So, that's kind of an interesting storyline to watch. We'll talk more about that as that date comes. And then the 5th of April, they're playing the Winnipeg Jets, who have been among the leaders in the NHL this season. They've been very, very good. But the Utah Hockey Club has played some really strong games against them this season. Seattle, after that, that's when the Utah Hockey Club will want to get some revenge on. They had a bad loss to Seattle a couple weeks ago on the 14th. Nashville on the 10th. I wonder if that'll be a NashCast. We'll see how that goes. That's the last home game of the year. And then games against Dallas in Nashville on the 14th of April. And then on the 15th, it could be the season-determining game at St. Louis, the Blues. It would be truly incredible stuff if they could get to that night and play what is a playoff game, right? A game to get into the playoffs against the Blues. So if they can make it there, that would be pretty magical. I think, again, it does feel at times like this thing is somewhat scripted, like it's been predetermined. Like, the fact that they're playing the Blues last game of the season, that's spooky. That's really spooky, right? What does that tell you? Can we make that happen, Hollywood, right? You set the stage, put the things in motion. Let's go to the mind gym. Let's bounce back. Let's practice the art of bouncing back and try to get to these dates. I think that would be truly, truly incredible stuff. And if you like incredible stuff, by the way, you would have really enjoyed NashCast. We had the last couple of NashCasts were incredibly fun. Like these just get like bigger and better. Like the credit goes to Tyson for booking the guests. He does an incredible job with his Rolodex, and our tremendous producer Craig Amazine, who does all the magic behind the scene. He's literally like the guy, the sweaty guy behind the curtain, who actually is the Wizard of Oz. You know what I mean? And Tyson and I are just the big mask that is the Wizard of Oz. If you've seen Wicked or the Wizard of Oz, you know what I'm talking about. But again, the last two NashCasts have been really, really, really awesome. They've been a little bit stressful too, right? Because the guests have been so big. You know, for a NashCast on Thursday against Buffalo, we had the big dog in the house, the boss, Ryan Smith. We had two bosses, actually. We had Ryan Smith in studio with us watching the first period of the game. Our Nash Crasher, the guy who someone who joins us via Zoom and you know, chops it up with our guest. The kind of the idea of the NashCast is to kind of be like a gift to our guests. We want to say, hey, thank you for coming on. We're going to make this a great experience for you. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to bring a guest in to surprise you, and you guys can chat and have a nice moment and tell each other how much you appreciate each other, give a little credit, you know, that kind of thing. Our Nash Crasher for Ryan Smith was Gary Bettman. So we had both these guys on the show with us at the same time. Incredible stuff. Really, really amazing. I want to talk more about the Ryan Smith interview here in just a second. But again, that was just awesome. Maybe just to touch on it for a bit, you know, I think the big news that came out of that, Tyson, with great savviness, you know, asked Gary Bettman, he's like, Gary, when are we getting the outdoor game here in Utah? And Gary Bettman, I think maybe sort of revealed revealed something that hadn't been reported, I guess, in the news previously. We had speculated on where a Utah Hockey Club outdoor game might be. Gary Bettman essentially said they've been looking very closely at the University of Utah. So that was a little bit of a story breaking there, but he's like, it's happening. And Ryan Smith's like, yeah, we know it's happening. I've said this like 100 times if you haven't been paying attention. So Utah Hockey Club probably going to be playing a outdoor game. And it looks like the NHL thinks the most likely place for that would be the University of Utah. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on that. But go check out NashCast. Again, those replays are still available. Those interviews are there. They're evergreen. They're always interesting. They're always fun. We also had Brad May on. So we have some bruisers there. We have some brawlers from the NHL days. Brad May was there. His Nash Crasher was the loudmouth Matthew Barnaby, who was tremendous. Those guys were like a ton of fun. We had our good friend Chris Grenier from the Bomb Hole podcast, snowboarding podcast, the greatest snowboarding podcast in the world, bar none, easily. He was in studio with us. It was Chris's second time being in studio with us, and he's such an awesome dude. And Bomb Hole is such a cool product. I would love to see SLC Puck become something like the Bomb Hole at some point. And they're doing a really cool event in April up at Brighton Ski Resort. So make sure you check that out at the Bomb Hole podcast. That was just one show, by the way. We had all those guests in just one show. Our second show was really, really good as well. Again, it was Saturday, the next gen game. It was for the kids, for the youth, right? We had everybody's favorite player, Liam O'Brien, Spicy Tuna on. His parents were the Nash Crashers, Susan and Sean O'Brien. That was a really, really special moment. Tuna, let me say this about Tuna. He's a sweetheart. It's such an interesting thing to like meet these guys who like professionally hit other people in the face with their fists, to meet them in person. And we met Liam. We talked to him a little bit before the show, and he showed his knuckles on air too. Like there's scabs and scars all over his knuckles from hitting people in the face. But he is an angel. He's so kind and so sweet and gentle and just very nice to sit with. The hair looks great, by the way. It's a lovely shade of red. We also had Coach Dar, who wrote this book, The Art of Bouncing Back. Her Nash Crasher was Jordan Schmaltz, who is Nick Schmaltz's brother. He's a hilarious dude as well. And then our last guest on the Saturday show was very special. A pair of puppets. We had puppets on the show. They were like the Muppets, but they were puppets. And we had a puppet named Patrick Paws, who was a kitten. and Top Cheese, who's a rat. And we kind of created a funny dynamic there. So again, this sounds absurd. It's like, how can all this be possible? All this is on like one show, one hockey game broadcast. It happens. It's legit. It's NashCast, baby. It's what we do. We're going to have like 2 more to finish the year. I should know the dates, but I don't have them top of mind right now. But I'll give those to you in just a second. But again, like the thing I really wanted to touch on here at the end of the show was just my experience sitting with Ryan Smith. And it was like very cool. I was in my head just a little bit beforehand. I was like, oh, this is so intimidating. This is scary. But like, what could go wrong and all that kind of stuff, right? But sitting with Ryan was such a really amazing, interesting experience. And I just was so struck by his sincerity and the way he talked about his vision for Utah and what gives him the most gratification as an owner. And he talked so much about like the experience that the fans have. And he talked about how special that was to see people walk into Delta Center and see the ice and see Utah on the ice and to feel like that's ours, like that belongs to the community. And he said from where he sits down by the glass, he's able to just look up and watch people walk in and sort of they have this like look on their face, and like it's a look that I can imagine because like I have that experience every time I walk in a Delta Center and see the ice. Like I remember the first time we saw it, it's kind of making me like weirdly emotional right now, but like when like I saw the ice on the floor at Delta Center with Utah Hockey Club branding on it, it like took my breath away a little bit. Like it, like there was like I don't have like the vocabulary to articulate that feeling, but I'm like, I can't believe this is here. And I can't believe like this is like going to be here forever. And like it's ours. And like that's what Ryan has made for us. And again, I think there's a lot people can think about like somebody who's like a billionaire or someone, who has like great wealth and has big ideas and all that. But again, like I was super, super impressed and so psyched to be sitting with Ryan, having that experience with him and with Tyson and with everybody who works on NashCast. So that was something that I just wanted to communicate. I hope you guys watch NashCast, for one, because we put a lot of work into it. And for two, it's really good. And like the interviews there are awesome. There just happens to be a hockey game next to the interviews. That's kind of the way we think about it. And again, check those out. And I think you'll feel what I feel too. And it was such a great week for me. I had so much fun doing NashCast, being a part of the next gen game with all the kids and doing silly stuff like puppets, watching a hockey game with a couple of puppets. Like that's weird, right? But it was fun. And it was awesome to see Sean Dursey walking in with the DCYHA jersey, Karel Vejmelka with the Viewmont jersey. That's pretty surreal. That's pretty weird. I have a Viewmont jersey tacked up here on the wall in SLC Puck Studios. Looks a lot like the one Karel Vejmelka was wearing. And like to make it even more personal, like that jersey was something that my dad designed. Like when my dad was the trustee at Viewmont, that was like priority one, was switching from these like awful yellow, like maroon jerseys that they'd probably been wearing since like the 70s. They were ratty. They looked bad. My dad comes in, he takes over as the trustee of Viewmont High School. He's like, we got to look better. We're going to build a better program. And he put so much effort into building these uniforms, the V with the arch across it that says Viewmont. I remember like that. My dad drew that out. Like we worked on that in the Facer household. We had so many samples come in. We worked so hard on getting the colors right, the blocking, the stripes, like everything. Like that's a Dirk Facer product right now that Karel Vejmelka wore into the arena. How cool is that? That's pretty amazing what this guy did right here. And it's something that like is now at the NHL level. And it just makes me like so proud and like happy to be a part of what's happening in Utah's hockey scene. Ryan Smith talked about how he wants to have an ice rink in every municipality, and I'm sure I said that word wrong, municipality in Utah. He said that's going to be a summer project, and I'll just pull up this tweet here. This is going to be a summer project. We believe that every municipality in Utah, and I think I said it right there, should have an ice rink. Utah has the youngest demographics in the USA and is the fastest growing state. With basketball, we have 70,000 kids playing junior jazz and more basketball courts per capita than anywhere else. I think that has a lot to do with all the courts being in the LDS chapel gyms, right? But it should be the same for hockey. Can you imagine if they had ice rinks in the chapels at churches? That would be that'd be wild, huh? Wow. Okay. I'd have to make some decisions there about the way I practice my faith. I'd be pretty interested. I'd pay 11% tithing for that. Tell you that would be something. But again, I think it's gonna be so fun. We see more rinks here. I had the opportunity to go do public skate at the South Davis Rec Center this afternoon. And for me, like, that was where it started, right? That was just doing, public skating at the old bubble in Bountiful, the Bountiful bubble. And it was really fun to just be skating around, thinking about NashCast, thinking about all the awesome stuff that's happened to me over the last year, SLC Puck and all that. And I was just struck by I've said I've been struck so many times, but it was really impactful to me to just be skating and watching these little kids around the rink, these kids that just are seeing hockey and getting really excited about it. Like, they suck, they're terrible at skating, but they're excited, they want to learn. They have their rental skates on, they're not tied enough, but they're out there, they're having fun, they're excited about it. One kid was wearing a Clayton Keller jersey, and I thought to myself, that's little Austin Facers skating around right there. That's what that is. And there's gonna be not to paint an unpleasant visual, but lots of little Austin Facers all over the state of Utah. And I think that's really fun. And for me, that was just a huge part of NashCast on Saturday was what we did for the kids as well. So super fun, super special to think about. And again, big kudos to Ryan Smith for what he's doing for the community, especially the hockey community and the future hockey community there. But hey, we still got some hockey to play here at the NHL level. Utah Hockey Club has some big games. As I said, tomorrow, Monday, we're at Brick's Corner for the watch party. Please be there. Giveaways, all kinds of good stuff. The pizza there is really, really good as well. You can follow me at SLC Puck. Don't forget to scan this QR code as well. That's in partnership with our great friends at Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry. We're still giving away gift cards. That's been an awesome promotion for our listeners. Call the SLC Puck hotline with your takes. And enjoy the ride. And we'll talk to you guys soon.